gentlemen, welcome to take two because the first take, oh Jesus, take two of the Casual Heroes Wrestlecast. We've got Jed with us and we've got Pat, but no Gavin. Jed, where's Gavin?
Completely disinterested. Stop. Oh, excuse me. I have a couple of interests. Interest. Wow. Boy, these bevs are piling up, dogs. I'm pretty liquid right now. I have a couple answers to that. Completely disinterested. His phone died. Stuck in 1988.
3 entirely valid.
Yep. Chris, you have any other?
Yeah. I think the other one is his wife doesn't want him.
Why do you gotta get offensive?
I thought all of Jed's were true. I thought we were just saying true things.
Nice about it, like you just cut him to the bone.
I know. Yeah, dude.
He said, never mind.
Said.
So, anybody's...
I can't believe I know someone who talks like you.
So, anybody's dad died lately or anything?
Oh, Jesus.
2009.
Mine was 2010.
2017.
Oh, Jed, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Rip.
You know, I wish he was around still to have heard that last cast and take his own life.
In light of that, I'd like to offer you a poem.
No, Pat, you're not allowed to do a poem.
No, he can do it. He's got a poem.
No, he doesn't. I know.
Oh yeah, he does. It's wrestling related. Pat.
Dad lived a full life on his own terms. He'll be buried and eaten by worms.
So fucking good.
I'd wish for cancer so that I would die too.
Chris, this is when the Big Boss Man was. Remember when Big Show went sliding on the back of the casket?
I always knew your daddy was a drag queen.
That's fucking good. Boss Man was so good, dude.
How do you make that fun?
You know, and like, do you remember when they did the Chris? Where Gavin stuck in 1998, and there's no getting around it. Anyways, back to 1999. Do you remember when the Boss Man had somebody in the back tell Paul White his dad died, only to reveal like next week they were like, yeah, that it turns out his dad was not dead at that moment, but later, like in the week, his dad did die. It was like the most unnecessary, weird step that they just did. I never even understood why they did it.
That's
Chris, you understand what? Go ahead. What?
Remember they had him Boss Man badger like his mother on TV to reveal he actually was a bastard.
Oh my God! Has anyone seen John Cena?
Yeah, he dropped a lot of weight. Chris, we're talking about. Come on, keep it topical here.
Oh my goodness! What is wrong with him?
What's wrong with him? He's not working out like an animal anymore. He's just trying to be fit, like and healthy.
Dude, he is like there's not an ounce of fat on him.
Or feet.
As much as he did in 1999 now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
High school then.
Very, very, very visual, Chris.
I understand that, and I can put it up as a picture on the video, but his veins are like, oh, I hate it. I hate it when the veins are popping out, dude.
Damn, pal, look at the parody.
That's nasty.
I hate it when the vein goes down the side of it all the way to the helmet.
Oh yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Thanks.
I mean,
so, Pat, the Boss Man stuff again. Whoa! Wow. Yeah. He does not look good.
That's okay. Good. There we go.
That's a little bit creepy on the vascularity. Like that should.
Yeah, he looks like the overly jacked guy who. Yeah. Plus, he's kind of got like Vince stomach.
Die in 3 years.
Yeah. All right. Is anybody gonna talk about it? Nice dick. It's not a bad dick.
Oh, dinner.
Chris, thoughts on the dick?
Oh, sorry, my mic was messed up. I think that it's not bad. I think it's semi. I think it's a semi right there.
Did he chub for the photo?
That's what I'm thinking.
No. I mean, look at it. The blood's flowing in that photo.
The intention is to vascularize everywhere else. Like.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it is awful. Like his stomach muscles don't even look normal.
No, he has Vince stomach. When Vince would take his shirt off, that's what his stomach would look like. Now, I don't know.
It's like he doesn't do abs, but he does enough steroids and works out everything else.
Whoa. Allegedly.
Well, no, it's not alleged.
Has he been confirmed to do steroids?
No, it's not. No, it's not alleged. Like, there's no alleged part to it. That's Pat's opinion of what he could be on.
Oh. Well, allegedly.
It's sub-allegedly. It's beneath allegedly. Like, this is some real...
Allegedly, Pat's
real
opinion.
slander.
yeah. Let's...
Like, I also think, like, of the population, wrestling is gay, and I'm usually right about that.
Yeah, way more than 50%.
Oh,
I'm probably closer to, like, 80.
Yeah.
Jed, somebody did a close-up of a stomach and says that there is a gorilla on it. I'm not sure.
Oh, jealous.
They say...
Oh wow, yeah. Look at that protruding fucking. Ugh. I love how I'm disgusted with John Cena's stomach. My stomach, it looks like the fucking guy that they found behind the refrigerator in Seven. But I'm gonna make fun of John Cena for just being a little too vascular for me. Not really like. Oh,
like hobo with a shotgun. Like
I look like Dr. Robotnik, and I'm making fun of fucking John Cena.
I should take workout tips from Kevin Owens, and we're gonna pick on this fit, magnificent guy.
So,
anyway, but
are you going back to 1999?
No, you beat that out of us, the fun out of it. So, speaking of allegedly gay people, according to Pat, so again, probably not allegedly, but All In is this weekend, Chris, and Kenny Omega's there.
I don't know who Kenny Omega is.
Kenny Omega.
You watch Stranger Things, right?
Yes.
Who Billy grew up to.
Oh, okay.
He's kind of taken over as. I mean, like, how do you describe? He's the most popular wrestler not in the WWF, or E. He's the American guy who had a career but has since reinvented himself and really he's joined the Bullet Club. You know, you've heard of the Bullet Club.
Yes, I know the Bullet.
Yeah, I mean, he's made wrestling a bigger deal outside of Vince because he uses the thing which everybody has been dying for, which is the WWF didn't serve this to us. I did it again. The WWF didn't serve it to us, so we think it's better than anything that they ever have done. You know, it's kind of like if your parents play music for you and you're like, no matter if it's the Beach Boys, if it's the greatest album of all time, you're like, fuck this sucks. I want to listen to stuff my parents don't like. So going with that, Kenny Omega has kind of spiked a huge popularity, and him, the Young Bucks, and Cody Rhodes are putting on a show in Chicago, and it's already sold out. How many people are going to be there?
Over 10,000.
Yeah.
Over 10,000. And we figured out on the previous podcast that in 1994, AAA.
Oh, yeah.
AAA sold 10,000 tickets, but other than that, it happened. Yeah. It had to happen before 1986.
Yeah, and we also figured out in 1941.
Yes, we did.
No, we can't. All right.
No.
We'll leave it at that.
Main event is Nick Aldis versus Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is also in the Bullet Club.
Wait.
No,
Chris.
Yeah.
Chris, do you know who Nick Aldis is?
Should I?
You do.
I do?
You know him as Magnus.
Oh, Magnus!
Yeah!
I like Magnus.
You did. You really did.
Yes, I really did. That's not... And then
you really got...
Then he got allegedly hepatitis A or something.
No, that's Desmond Wolfe. That was
Desmond
Nigel
Wolfe.
McGuinness.
Nigel. Oh, yes, Nigel.
Yeah, Magnus was the guy who was in really good... Well, I'm pretty sure he's in really good shape still. But he faded out of TNA because TNA, at the time, was hemorrhaging all the people that were good, and they decided to run with... Who did they even end up running with?
They went with, like, oddball champions. Was this when they put the belt on Davey Richards?
No, it was Eddie. I don't even think Davey got it.
Did they?
Look, I still like Eddie a lot. It's just, Eddie was the champion of TNA at their most incredibly irrelevantness, and they rode his championship all the way off of literally 2 TV deals, like back to back.
And Chris, the entire event started as an irony?
No, I did not.
So basically, Dave Meltzer, you know who Dave Meltzer is, right?
Yes, Dave Meltzer is a terrible person.
No.
I just felt like saying that. Go ahead, Pat. I do.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to everything he has to say, but I mean, a terrible person.
He really is.
All right, whoa.
So he on Twitter said something along the lines of, he was asked about the popularity of Cody, the Bucks, the whole Bullet Club, and about what they could do. And he said, I don't think they could sell out a 10,000 seat U.S. And Cody responded and said, challenge accepted.
And here we are.
Selling out an over 10,000 seat arena in Chicago.
And Chris, you'll remember, of course, what happened when people said that the New Kids on the Block sold out.
I don't.
They said,
Go
You
ahead.
don't remember? They said we're selling out tours.
Oh, okay.
Nobody remembers that from the.
No.
Really? That was from when they were rapping. They did side A. All right, never mind. Go ahead, continue.
When they went by NKOTB, not New
Yeah. When they were doing this one's for the children.
So, who was it in TNA that they had where the
I was just Joey McIntyre. Excuse me, TNA.
The one shoulder thing, like a gladiator, was that Nigel or was that
No,
Magnus?
that was Magnus.
Okay.
That was when he was going with a gladiator gimmick, despite it being at the time 2000. I'm guessing 12.
Yeah, it was around there.
Gavin was booking.
Well, yeah, that does make sense. It's a little kabuki-ish, baby, but it wasn't good. The crowd, I would say, massive disinterest is what they greeted him with, and it took a couple years for people to be like, "Oh wait, Gavin, Magnus is good," and well, fair. He's very fair, but he was learning at the time, and just as he was really kind of learning out how to be a person in himself and a good wrestler after being paired with Crimson, which was not good. Do you remember Crimson?
I don't think so.
And then he was paired with Charlotte Flair's ex-husband or boyfriend.
They married.
Were they married? Who turns out not a good person. They paired him with him as well, and that went nowhere. So just as they were like, oh, let's maybe see what Magnus can do as a character himself. He left to do, I believe, wasn't he the genie in Aladdin?
What?
Yeah, like a Broadway show.
Oh,
Broadway show.
Well, excuse me, a show some fucking where.
You know what?
That's the one.
Yeah.
I know he was doing. He left and he joined up with Jarrett to do GFW, and he was going to be like one of their top 3 feature guys or whatever.
Oh man, remember when Gavin kept bringing up GFW like it was going to be a thing?
I was in on that for a month, and then I realized it was never going to go anywhere.
Dude,
Jarrett's not good.
TNA in 2010 had Desmond Wolfe, Brutus Magnus, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels.
By the way, that's like a third of the SummerSlam lineup. Go ahead.
They had what? Chris Sabin, Eric Young, Homicide and Hernandez.
Yep.
Gosh,
Homicide. I love the
they were was
okay. I'll keep going. Sting, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Like they had, I've said this before about TNA. They did not fail because of a lack of talent.
Oh, didn't they have Matt Morgan?
They had the blueprint.
Was the Dudleys there?
I mean, Jesus, they had the Dudleys, they had Kevin Nash, they had Raven, they had Ric Flair, they had Mick Foley, they had Hulk Hogan.
How did that fail?
Well, Mr. Kennedy was probably why it failed.
Hey.
Mr. Kennedy, Bubba the Love Sponge.
You stop that.
Yeah.
Mr. Anderson was my boy.
I mean, Jesus, they also had Awesome Kong, who was like, a great, an interesting to watch women's wrestler, and probably the best attempt at being China since China.
We should all feel really bad because they had Scott Steiner.
Well, then they also they had $42 worth of Christian.
No, you're not supposed to mention like God by name. That's why we don't do that with Scott.
Yeah. Jesus.
Man, they were loaded.
Yeah, well, again, the problem was never talent. It was just,
It was bad on so many levels beside the talent. The booking was horrendous. The production was terrible.
They had beer money at that time.
Yeah.
James Storm and Bobby Roode. It wasn't, again, it's not a lack of talent. It's a lack of how bad the booking was. It's the presentation.
It was like the last podcast.
No, that was good.
No, you're not wrong about that. But the talent was all there. It was just that, the management, like Chris and Gavin, fucked it up.
So I'm looking at it here. The stables in 2010, they had the Main Event Mafia.
Well, there you go. See, this is when you get into the problems.
The TNA Originals.
Jesus.
And
who cares?
World Elite.
Wow, remember the World Elite?
No.
Okay.
I do remember it. It was
Daivari, Chavo Guerrero. Can you click the list?
Yeah, it's Brutus Magnus, Doug Williams, Eric Young, Kiyoshi, Rob Terry, and Sheikh Abdul Bashir.
God.
Not from America except Daivari, who's from Minnesota.
So that was the World Elite. And in the TNA Originals, you had...
By the way, World Elite adds up to 9 guys living in Florida. But continue.
The TNA originals was AJ, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Consequences Creed, Christopher Daniels, James Storm, Jay Lethal, Robert Roode.
Hey, Consequences Creed, Chris.
Yes.
That's Xavier Woods.
Yes, it is.
From the New Day.
Yes, I know that.
This roster was fucking stacked.
Lieutenant Dan for a second.
And Sting was part of the TNA originals. And then in the main event, Mafia.
Why wouldn't he be? Why would he not be a part of the TNA originals? He's originally from TNA.
Yeah. Booker T, Kevin Nash, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Scott Steiner, and Tracy Brooks with Jenna
Maraska. Oh, boy.
And Charmel.
Oh,
Remember her versus? Oh, she had a great ring entrance, but it was borderline pornography what she did getting in the ring, and then she got in the ring and what's up?
Her versus Charmel was the greatest thing you've ever seen.
It was not a good match. TNA.
It was kind of like the last show.
So at that time, their creative writers were Matt Conway and Vince Russo. That's who was. I was saying at that point in time, with all this talent, they had Matt Conway and Vince Russo.
Oh, there you go. See, Russo, speaking of All In, yes, back in 2010. Did we just make fun of Gavin being stuck in 1988? Fucking Gavin needs to get with the times. Not everything is going to be greater when you're a kid. Anyways, Sting.
There in the creative meeting when he pitched the idea to Brutus to come in as that, baby, we're going to put you in this armor, you see? And you're going to come out like you're this great warrior, baby. It's going to be very kabuki-ish.
Now, baby, you got to sell what you're doing, okay? If the audience don't believe what you're doing, no one gonna.
You're going to wall, baby.
You're a gladiator, baby. You live on the edge of the lightning bolt, daddy.
Hey, Jed, do you remember Hermie Sadler?
No, go on. I remember Donnie Sadler, infielder from the Boston Red Sox in the late 90s.
Driver was a promoter, too.
I was just looking over this stuff, and there was supposedly a Hermes Hot Seat interview segment.
Ew.
And I do not remember this at all.
No, not at all.
I remember Hermie because he promoted shows for TNA under his own company name. He was calling it UWF, Hermie Sadler's UWF. And he was a race car driver, that I remember.
Hermie was a race car driver?
A name like Hermie Sadler, you don't really have a choice, dude.
No, I guess not.
Yeah.
So, wasn't there a famous racer named Sadler?
What are we looking at?
A famous racer named Sadler. Chris, it's the Wrestlecast. Please look up rally car racers named Sadler. Okay.
Sadler.
So, anyways, speaking of Dusty,
Elliot Sadler.
count it. How famous?
He was. Yeah, he's pretty well known. His achievements are he's won a few races. Awards were 2011 NASCAR's most popular driver and 2016 to 2017 NASCAR most popular driver.
I got to be honest with you. Just fucking send this one off to the Smithsonian. Best Wrestlecast ever.
Up there.
Talk about
It's
NASCAR.
not a bad one. So what else? Let's see. How else can we? Okay. So Chris.
Yes.
Remember when I was doing a bad Dusty impression and Pat was doing a good one?
Yes.
Okay. His kid is putting on an event this Saturday.
Yes, he is.
Wrestling Magnus.
They sold this event out before they even announced any matches.
They really did. They sold it out in 30 seconds, Chris.
So who, it says the All In 2018 remaining roster, the only people that aren't on the show supposedly is Chucky T, Trent Beretta, Matt Cross, and MJF. The only name I kind of recognize is Matt Cross. Should I recognize that?
Yeah, he was M-Dog, and,
No, he wasn't Matt Classic. That was Colt Cabana. He was on Tough Enough.
Yeah, he was the guy, Stone Cold. He was the guy who could do all the flips, and Stone Cold was like, well, why didn't you do any? And he got sent home before, and everybody was mad because he was like a famous indie guy.
Yeah.
And he got sent home before a beauty queen did. But in all honesty, it's not. They weren't really looking for a 5'9". They were looking for a superstar. So, anyways.
Okay.
I was never a big M-Dog Matt Cross fan, but
However, Chucky T.
I guess we should point out that Stephen Amell is also on this card, which is kind of weird, but he is.
Do you want to give a shot at his name again?
Stephen Amell?
No, I guess you did get it right. What's funny is, what? Make fun of me for thinking you got a name wrong. I fucking dare you to do it. I'll strike you down where you fucking stand, motherfucker. But so,
Do you want to try who he's wrestling?
Christopher Daniels.
The fallen angel, daddy.
So who's winning the budget battle royale to face Jay Lethal?
Probably Flip. I don't.
I'm gonna
Actually,
say Billy Gunn.
God, Billy Gunn versus Jay Lethal would get the crowd going fucking absolutely nuts.
Colt Cabana?
Huh?
Colt Cabana?
No, is Colt in the battle royal? I thought he was doing commentary.
Yep. Nope, he's in the battle royal.
Pat, do you feel any way differently about Chucky T, the boy Chuck Tails?
There were things that he did, in all honesty, that I liked, but nothing more so that I disliked than the invisible grenade.
Yeah, but I mean, like that was at a very,
made
very
me want to stab people, and he almost won me over when he would do stuff like randomly scare little kids at ringside.
Which is always good. Chris,
Yeah,
you support screaming at children.
Well, yeah, because there's this wrestler
How else am I gonna
here.
get them in my van?
I don't put them in a van, but he comes out as the Beast and scares children.
Y'all
So
like Nazi?
Dan Severn?
no, it's a wrestler around here. I think
His name
I
is the
forgot. Yeah, the Beast. Yeah,
Forgot. Not forgot. But continue.
someone's contract is up, and they're thinking that he'll be in the
Neville.
battle royale. Neville. So we could get a Jay Lethal versus Neville match.
Probably not.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that, because trying to calculate a payoff for him on this, it would be a good career move for him, but it's probably one of those things where it's like, well, I'm not getting the payoff. They already have nah, I'm not going to do it because they're not going to put me over.
Yeah, well, also, I mean, if you're Neville, you're probably thinking Japan, right?
What?
They're about to do a tournament because Hiromu Takahashi died, or his neck broke, and he didn't die, and it's really depressing. But there is a world out there for Neville where he doesn't necessarily need All In, but this would really be feeding his constituency of this crowd is going to be incredibly fuck WWF. So why not bring out the guy that was everything they wish the WWF was, you know, a great worker, and because he couldn't, you know, get a push that he wanted, he left. Like it I don't know, like, do you think it would be worth it to him to show up?
I think it's all about the payoff. Like, you know, I get that it's one of those things where if he makes the appearance, his Q factor goes up immensely. But I think it's one of those things where is he going to make a substantial amount of money doing a job that will help him, and doing a job in a feature spot. Like, if he's in a battle royal for 30 seconds, it helps him.
Well, I guess I do have a question, because I kind of know how certain indie shows work because I've been to so many. But I don't know whether NWA and Ring of Honor, this isn't All In. This is an independent show, correct? All In is not.
Correct.
Okay. So
well, it is full of those guys' rosters, though.
Yes. Well, what I was going to say is, you know, we've got a story where Ring of Honor and NWA sold out Madison Square Garden, but on this card, they're not going to probably let Magnus or Jay Lethal drop their belts.
Well, Magnus,
because
is going to be on the Ring of Honor network, and it's going to be on the New Japan network.
Well, because Jay Lethal can come into a show here in Huntington, and you could wrestle for the Ring of Honor Championship, but he ain't losing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he can't do that. He has an exclusive deal now.
Right.
By the way.
I was just example.
I understand. Yeah, but he's not laying down. Now, the Nick Aldis thing is interesting because Cody, you know, is making a big deal out of the NWA belt. The belt is owned by
Billy Corgan at this point.
Yeah, Billy Corgan. Go ahead, Chris. The guy from Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes, tonight.
Oh, yeah, no.
1979.
No.
Okay.
So
exactly, Chris.
Yeah, Smells Like Teen Spirit. So
no.
Yes, he owns. I'm pretty sure he owns that belt, and what better thing to do? I mean, what to get attention for that highly irrelevant piece of garbage than to put it on Cody at the biggest, you know, pay-per-view outside of the WWE.
Wait,
you know, the highest selling building outside the WWE. In you know.
Wait, are you saying Billy Corgan owns NWA?
He owns the rights to the NWA belt, and he owns the name NWA.
I thought, I don't know, maybe I had a stroke or something. I thought he invested into TNA.
He did.
Yeah.
That's a lot of murky water.
The short story is they misrepresented both themselves and what his overall investment would be in it, and that whole thing. So because they basically misrepresented themselves legally as well as in intellectual property and that type, Corgan, the money he was investing, they forced them to return all of it and pay damages to him, and that basically enabled him to use those damages to buy the NWA championship and rights to the name.
Okay.
And that includes Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, but it's a good business move for him to be invested here, and it's honestly a better business move for him if they do put the belt on Cody, because let's be real, the NWA as a whole was always about working agreements between different, not necessarily companies, but that's what you have now. You have companies instead of territories.
Yeah.
Invest in some kind of relationship with Ring of Honor, with New Japan, to get yourself more visibility, to get better guys booked on your shows.
This is something I wanted to bring up when we recorded before, but I couldn't get any of you guys to shut up. There is a match on here, a Chicago street fight, okay? And I can guess what a Chicago street fight is, but my bigger question is, with the way that WWE has went to, they're PG, right?
Well, they still have street fights.
Well, the death matches. You guys remember how popular death matches?
This won't be a death match.
Okay, not even close.
No, one of the guys is way too skilled, and the other guy does not have to do that sort of shit anymore.
Okay,
he's had a history of falling off of buildings. Didn't he do that spot with Zandig?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, probably the craziest spot ever.
Stuff he did with Chris Dickinson in a bar is insane.
Yeah, he's nuts. He is nuts. But that match will probably have something psychotic happen in it, but it's not going to be a bleeder.
So do you guys?
He's going to take a very high fall or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that those type of matches, because I don't even see them in indie shows anymore, do you guys think that's died out?
CZW is not going anywhere.
Oh, CZW still does it? Okay.
Yeah, they still have the King of the Death match every fucking year with those fucking just gathering of loser juggalos in the woods, and they watch a bunch of guys maim each other for fucking $80 each. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But I've never that's that just absolute garbage. But I also
there's an audience for it.
Yeah, I guess. Unfortunately,
man, I tell you what, some of the biggest indie shows I've been to now. Adam's indie show is different. It's really well run and they have a lot of people. But other than that, some of the biggest ones I went to was where you could bring your own weapon for the wrestlers to use.
Yeah, I've been to those too lately, but it's certainly a toned down situation. And it's not every match on every card. There's still the Matt Tremonts and oh God, who else still does Masada still work?
Madman Pondo, does he still work?
Not often, but he does. Pondo's done.
Is he? Okay. Yeah.
Then there's that fucking Japanese guy with the fucked up teeth. I don't even know his name, but he basically almost dies every fucking time he comes out.
But there's not the level of brutality or insanity in those anymore that there was, thank God, for the most part, and definitely not on this type of stage.
Who took the weed whacker to the chest?
I've seen that before at an indie show. I don't know who did on television.
We're better off. It's fewer far between now.
It did probably ruin Mick Foley's career, or not ruin, but shorten it.
Well, he didn't do crazy death matches, and he also was getting paid.
That's a good point.
He for every time he fell off the cage, he probably made $6 million in his career.
You gotta remember, the stuff he did to get noticed wasn't that. He took some hard bumps, he would do the bump off the ring onto the floor and make it look like he really cracked his head to protect himself, but nobody was taking that bump at the time. So it immediately made him stand out for that. And then when he had a platform he was going to make a lot of money, he could raise the bar because he had the financial incentive to do it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite wrestlers that probably not a lot of people know used to do this type of stuff. And I remember he had staples in his head. I don't remember his real name. I remember his character that I liked, El Drunko. And I can't remember. El Drunko was the best thing ever. It was my favorite wrestler. No. I think this one's still alive.
You might be mistaken with my dad, and my dad was El Drunko too.
Yeah.
But they would be in the back taking out staples out of his head because he couldn't go to the hospital because he didn't have insurance.
Thanks, Obama.
I'm trying to figure out who El Drunko was. This card though
Either
looks
way, okay.
Spider Nate Webb.
Oh, my friend Nate Webb. Yeah, you did love that guy.
You know who Nate Webb is? Yes.
Yeah, he's a little guy. He was in the Ring of Honor versus CZW.
Yep.
The cage match.
Yeah.
Spider Nate Webb.
Yeah, he was the shit.
He was really good.
I mean, he looked like he worked at Best Buy.
He did.
Hey, so-
But this card looks pretty good. It does have one women's match: Madison Rayne, Britt Baker, Tessa Blanchard. But I know all three of those. I've met all three of those, but I have not met or know Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green is the girlfriend of Zack Ryder.
Ah.
Yeah. Downgrade.
Downgrade.
Yeah, for her and him.
I don't know who they were with before. I'm not gonna lie.
One of them was with Eva. What was her name? What was Tennille Dashwood's name in WWE?
Emma.
Yeah,
What?
That Ryder was dating Emma.
Emma? Like my Emma?
I saw Emma in person,
Yeah.
and I messaged the group message. I'm like, guys, it hurts to be in this room right now. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen someone this attractive up close. Like, dude, it felt like I was in a room with an alien. And that was the general attitude of everyone there. Like, everyone was just kind of staring at her like, I hope armed gunmen come in here so I could die protecting her, was the general mood.
They made her so dumb. Like in WWE, didn't they have her like dancing? Like that was her whole thing. Was it?
Yeah, I mean that got her over in NXT, but there was not a whole lot after that.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
she kind of disappeared.
When they healed
Not
her,
kind of.
she had like a makeover. Holy cow! Like
the little gloves.
Like,
I
yeah,
didn't even know how attractive little gloves were.
because they make my you know what look bigger.
Exactly.
Oh
My
yeah,
hands.
yeah. They do. Well,
There's the best match you could possibly make outside of WWE on this card,
Go ahead.
and it's Kenny Omega versus Pentagon.
There you go. That is.
Should I know who those guys are?
Well, we discussed Kenny Omega literally 15 minutes ago.
No, I
so
know.
yes.
I know Kenny Omega. Sorry, I should have said who Pentagon is. Kenny Omega was on Stranger Things. I got that.
He wasn't. He wasn't on Stranger Things.
Oh, he's talking about how I told him he was Billy
I
Graham.
know, but I really hope that Chris took that from the conversation, that it is not the character grown up.
Dude,
Go ahead.
would you go with it? This is me. I'm supposed to play
Are
that.
you trying to talk a kid in the van again?
Yes.
Okay.
Pentagon Jr. has an awesome mask,
Yep. He's pretty cool.
and he wears contacts.
Does he?
He has white eyes, so unless he was born with that.
Yeah, I believe that's how Mexicans are.
I have
Oh,
some bad news.
what's that?
I got the broadcast team for the show.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Be Don Callis,
Okay. I'm not in love with Don Callis, but I think he's pretty good.
Excalibur.
I love Excalibur. No, you're not there with
Don
Excalibur?
Callis. I hate Don Callis. I like Excalibur.
I'm not strongly opposed to Don Callis, but he does like to put himself over a lot in the,
Baltimore.
huh?
Baltimore?
The
city?
the shithole?
Too much. And Ian Riccaboni.
Oh, the guy from Ring of Honor. Is that who that is?
Yes.
I'm not.
One
I'm
of the
not-
referees for the evening.
Oh boy. Go on.
I think Pat may be lagging.
Oh, yeah, he is. Can we get a little pausey?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't really pause, but I could act like we paused.
Okay, let's pause.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
there,
That's
there he
back.
is.
All right, the
All right.
referee.
The referee. Oh, Pat.
Oh, big.
So,
Positive.
Oh, Pat's back.
Pat's back.
Took
All right.
you were Sean Mooney.
Sean Mooney.
You know him. Malvinas.
Oh, really?
No, that's
I'm
Sean
just
Mooney.
teasing. I'm just teasing.
Oh, I was like, what?
No, Sean
No,
Mooney.
Mooney is.
Come on, Chris.
I'm
He interviewed Turbo. Oh, I miss Chris.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at his Wikipedia page. It doesn't have a picture, so it's not bringing up.
Oh, for God's sakes. So, yeah,
The show selling out. There was another show that sold out.
yeah,
Yes.
the Ring of Honor sold out the fucking garden, and the Dane Cook garden, from 10 years ago, not the less famous person garden, like the real deal garden.
I believe the Madison Square Garden fits 20,700.
Yeah, but they have 2 rooms. They have like a 5,000 little amphitheater thing, and they have the real deal fucking room.
You have what's called, you have the main arena, and then you have the second, which is called the Felt Forum or the Paramount, depending on where you're from. Mm-hmm. And that hosts another 5,500 roughly. The main room will host 20,000 and change. Out the main room pre-sale, they're going to sell out the small room as well. But technically, all you need for to sell out is what you have planned for the main room, and they accomplished that without announcing any matches.
So this is Ring of Honor and New Japan.
So it's really New Japan.
It's 90% New Japan and then Jay Lee.
Yeah. See, Ring of Honor these days, Chris, has been run such piss.
Just runs out Jay Lethal?
Yeah, well, it's Jay Lethal. We did this one day. It's Jay Lethal. The Briscoe. Yeah, Punishment Martinez, who draws 0 dimes. The Briscoes, who used to be a thing, which cannot be proven today by any measurable force, but we're told we're still a thing. Bruiser, or whatever his tits is, and Silas Young, and Cheeseburger and Bully Ray, and probably about all those names are not exclusive except for Punishment.
I was gonna say, like, who'd you miss? Rhett Titus?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, did I?
No.
He's in I saw him. I just recently saw Ring of Honor, and today I bought tickets to go see Ring of Honor in New Japan. But it's New Japan.
I heard a rumor, by the way, about a wrestling show that there's a chance that all of us are going to WrestleMania together.
Well, I'm not going to WrestleMania, but I'll go to the shows before it.
Okay.
I
won't go to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I ain't going to that fucking. I'll definitely go to the Janela show, whatever the fuck that's gonna be. It's gonna be crazy.
It'll be Janela versus like Taz.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. And then it'll have like Sandman versus Dickinson.
Oh my god! Oh.
Do you think we can sell out the Garden? Have like a live podcast at the Garden?
We aired the last one unedited, yes.
Whose Garden?
Madison Square.
Chris, we could be giving away free poppy seed heroin. And no one will come. But all in all, it's a very interesting time to be not Vince, and it's a dreadful time to be Vince. Not money-wise, but I mean, like...
We say that, but he still just can buy anything he wants.
Oh, yeah, he could shut the show down if he wanted to, probably.
Well, Kevin Owens supposedly did a shoot on Ring of Honor and New Japan and All In, and he said that All In is almost more impressive than Ring of Honor selling out Madison Square Garden because they did it on their own, and there's not a giant wrestling extravaganza happening on the same weekend in town.
It's not even close. It's way, way bigger of a deal.
But you know what? I have a feeling I know what Scott Steiner would say about Kevin Owens.
Go ahead.
He's fat.
Oh, confirmed. His girlfriend's fat too. I saw her. She looks like a goat. Actually, Kevin Owens' girlfriend's very attractive, but
doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it does. He's a successful guy with money, and
that. But yeah, so they sold out the actual Garden, and no, I would agree with Owens' assessment that it's absolutely more impressive for All In to sell out what they sold out, because the weekend that New Japan Ring of Honor is running Madison Square Garden happens the same weekend as WrestleMania 35 in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and 45 minutes away from Madison Square Garden.
So everybody will be in this shitty part of the world who is a wrestling fan.
Pretty much.
It's smart. It's nice that Ring of Honor is doing this, but again, it's New Japan featuring some guys from Ring of Honor. And most of these guys are all in.
I guess we'll get a bunch of the Bullet Club?
Well, they're from Japan. I mean, they got over enormous in Japan, and they are members of Ring of Honor, but, like, it really, Pat, if they had to drop something, if they had to drop Indie Dates, Ring of Honor, or New Japan, they're dropping Ring of Honor, right?
Because it's probably the lowest payout they get.
The least amount of dates.
By far. And, it's constantly fighting for control among who's actually running the company.
Mm-hmm. But
again,
it's just... Go ahead. Sorry.
If you're strictly doing it as a business, which these guys are smart enough to look at, there's no incentive for them to keep Ring of Honor on any level if you have to choose.
Yeah, next year, Japan is doing this. I don't think Ring of Honor is going to get their name on the fucking card next year.
If Vince is the total dick and just cock blocks, and Triple H agrees to some sort of working agreement.
Well, that would be insane too. But I think New Japan is sticking to themselves. Why are we even? Why do we have these guys on the card?
But at this point, I think it was to test the water, maybe more than anything. Just
Oh, but I mean, starting tomorrow.
There.
Yeah, Chris.
So
welcome.
yeah, thank you, Jed. I appreciate that. So
Do you?
I do, from the bottom of my heart. So we're impressed.
Oh.
Ring of Honor, New Japan selling out on WrestleMania weekend. All in going on here. So let's move over to a few this day in wrestling history, and then we're
How
going to
great
get to
would
a
it be
list.
to sell out? By the way,
Madison Square Garden?
no, sell out.
Oh.
I've done it before. It feels really good.
Oh God, I would kill to do it. Just like give in to like the evil people at YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for selling out. I don't have a problem with it at all.
You've never had a soul. What's the difference at this point?
23 years ago today, at a WCW Saturday night taping, Dustin Rhodes defeated Ravishing Rick Rude to win the NWA/WCW United States Championship.
There you go, Pat.
There you go, Pat. That's all.
The worst ever.
What's that?
Being
Dave's life.
produced by WCW editor.
Well, also 18 years ago, WWF sold out the Madison Square Garden for SummerSlam. And it had a record at the time, 700,000 homes were watching on pay-per-view. Do you know who the main event was?
Yeah.
Who the main event was, and it was fucking terrible.
It was Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Undertaker.
It was not good.
Like, wasn't it like 2.5 minutes into the match that Stone Cold got legitimately concussed?
I believe so.
It was such a sloppy fuck up.
And at no point did it look like either of them were. It looks like the guys met each other in the parking lot before.
Oh my goodness, do you know what else happened on that pay-per-view card? Ken Shamrock defeated Owen Hart via submission in a Lions Den match.
That was the Lions Den match?
And the match took place at an adjacent theater, Madison Square Garden, that we talked about, where a UF-style cage was constructed.
That was fucking
Thousands bought tickets to see the match live and watch the remainder of the event on theater screen.
That match was dope.
So they bought tickets to see just that match, and then they watched the rest of the pay-per-view on a screen. That's it. Yeah, that's nuts.
Did Shamrock do a moonsault in that match off the cage? Like he ran up the cage and did a flip?
No, maybe Owen did a moonsault off the cage.
Well,
Somebody
it wasn't
moonsaulted.
off the cage. They just kind of like springboarded off the cage, not like from the top of it. But I'm gonna watch that match tonight. That was a fucking awesome match.
Yeah,
It was better than the dungeon match.
I like the dungeon match.
I can appreciate it, but it's fucking like so stupid.
Very silly.
9 years ago today, WWE announces via a press release that through information from the Albany County, New York District Attorney's Office, that a number of wrestlers obtained performance-enhancing drugs from a signature pharmacy in Orlando, Florida. 10 performers were found to be in violation of the wellness. Do y'all know who? The 10 were Chavo Guerrero Jr.,
Yep, the muscle guy.
Shane Helms,
Another muscle guy.
John Morrison,
Another muscle guy.
Ken Anderson,
I mean,
He couldn't walk through doors.
yeah.
Umaga,
All right. Well, I mean, what performance-enhancing drug was he not on?
William Regal,
He was on a lot. These guys were on a lot of drugs that did not enhance performance whatsoever.
Edge,
Yeah, I remember Edge being on that.
Charlie Haas,
See, I remember one other guy being on this, and I haven't heard his name yet.
Soichi Funaka. Was
Yeah,
that the name that you were thinking of?
No.
And let me look. Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's
Oh.
it. So
When did Mysterio get popped?
it wasn't.
This one.
No, it wasn't this one. I was leaving out Randy Orton.
No.
Randy Orton got popped on this one. Mysterio did not get popped on this.
He doesn't do anything.
Mike
Speaking of-
Bucci, who ran WWE's development program following his retirement in 2006, was also named in the. So yeah.
So that's
Who was that?
The Simon system didn't.
Oh, wait, that was Simon? What was his name again?
Mike Bucci.
That's Nova's name?
I will tell you here in a second.
Pat?
Bucci is Supernova.
Wow. I didn't know that was... Okay. And by the way, I did not know... And blaming him for the reason that they were all on it is kind of silly. but okay.
He was there to be the fall guy.
Yeah, I guess so, huh?
This one's for Pat. 7 years ago today, Walter Killer Kowalski.
What happened?
Killer Kowalski died 7 years ago today.
Why is that for Pat?
Because he would know who he was. The dude was 81.
He's from Massachusetts, I know.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, no, I think he's from New England in general, but yeah. He trained,
Triple H.
Triple H, China.
Perry Saturn. Big John Studd.
Mm,
Frankie Kazarian.
there we go.
Damian Sandow.
Uh,
Fandango.
remember the huge push for Sandow?
Yes.
Like, everyone's like, oh, the WWE is blowing it with him. He did not leave to be incredible.
No. Don't
It
you
was
remember the
cosplay,
push
it
for
was not on there.
Fandango? He was like popular for a minute.
Yeah, they destroyed him.
Frankie Kazarian was. I wonder if he was in TNA in 2010.
Yes, he was.
Gosh, it's nuts.
I
Not
think the
nuts.
high point of
Nuts is,
Fandango's career was getting oiled by Jim Norton.
that was a good moment. Christopher?
Yes.
The pace.
Sorry, I was looking to see if there was any other famous things because after I said that, I was looking, but that's about it. So that's this day in wrestling, and now onto the list. And this list is brought to you by what beer, Jed?
Come.
I don't think that was in it.
Oh,
I do, and its tagline is because when you absolutely positively have to.
exactly.
All right, so this is the top 20 technical wrestling. So
I'm excited because I am a fan of wrestling. And Chris, you understand what a technical wrestler is, right?
yes, I do.
Okay. A wrestler of Latino descent.
No,
No?
that would be
no,
that would be a firecracker or a spark plug.
Oh, excuse me.
no. Technical wrestlers are very good with their moveset. They're crisp. They can do a match well. Like you know.
Twisting moveset.
So
Yeah.
number 20 on here, all the way
Sandman.
at the bottom, is Sandman.
That makes sense. I had him higher.
That's what I figured. I figured
On
you
Viking.
did. I did, but
Nope.
the other number 20 that was on this
Okay.
list
The
was
tie.
right. It was either Sandman or Ricky Steamboat.
Okay.
All right.
What?
20?
20.
Pat, are we going to get 10 more that are better than Steamboat?
I'm not gonna get fucking 3 more that are better than Steamboat. This is fucking joke.
This list is piss. Who wrote this list?
I was given this list by someone on this podcast. Okay?
Yeah, but I didn't like peruse who did it or anything.
Online World Wrestling.
About whomst?
Black Pants. I have no idea. It doesn't have
Black
a.
Pants?
Yeah, it says copyright 2015 Black Pants. I have no
God.
idea. Number 19.
This is shocking, by the way, that we start with. I don't know. Maybe there's like 3 guys you think of technical wrestler more, and only because they would say I'm a technician and shit like that.
Well, I can tell you, Jed, the person that's right above Ricky Steamboat is the Dynamite Kid.
No. The Dynamite wasn't even really that.
Oh, Dynamite was a fucking high flyer and high impact, like dude.
Yeah, he was he was the guy who came in and worked when Bulldog was out, and like really though, he was a high spots guy.
He's much more a high flyer / quick strike guy, like not
Yeah.
fucking using holds and tying people up in knots and shit, or fucking Christ.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing. The top 10 I'm looking at, and there's a lot of good technical wrestlers in there. These there's first 10, I think you guys are going to have a few problems. The next is Steve Austin.
Well,
But see,
okay, whoa. Steve, before the neck surgeries, was a very good technical. No, he was a good worker.
mechanic. He could go in there and have a good match.
Yeah, he was like severely less athletic, Mr. Perfect. And by the way, he had great matches. I liked Stunning Steve a lot, and I liked early 316 Steve a lot.
Heel Austin during the Alliance, he went back to that style a little bit.
Yeah, it didn't work because he was old and broken. But man, that is not a good Oh boy.
Well, number 17 is, and I haven't got to say this.
I wait.
Oh, go ahead.
Why is he? Why is Austin on the list when you're talking about a time that was not the majority of his career?
Why is he above Ricky Steamboat?
No, he's
Why,
above-
why is he above Ricky Steamboat?
Can I say number 17? I haven't said this
Yeah,
for
I
2
guess.
years. Here we go.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
Viva la Raza!
Eddie is already
Oh,
on this. All right, so here's my thing. I love Eddie Guerrero, but I would not call him a technical wrestler. Am I crazy with that?
I don't
I
think so.
feel like from like let's say 97 to like when he died, right?
Yeah.
Pound for pound, the best wrestler in the world, arguably.
Yeah, but he was Mexican Shawn Michaels. He was not a technical wrestler.
I can't wait till you hear the next one.
If you watch his matches, he's not necessarily overly technical.
No,
unless
but I mean,
he's
he had the
working
luchador
with-
influence, obviously, but
But again, he's not really breaking out technical stuff unless he's a heel working a much smaller or much younger guy. Like,
Yeah,
he
like-
could do that shit to Ray because he was so much bigger, he'd tie him up and lean on him.
Mhm.
Or he would do it with, like, a guy who was really young and green and didn't know how to work, so he just put him in a hold.
yeah, he was not doing that shit with fucking Lesnar.
He wasn't
I-
even doing that shit with fucking Stinko Malenko.
Yeah, that's a shocking thing. Like
Oh,
he was not doing Mexican surfboards and all that shit. Like that's
Oh, like, come on.
you haven't heard shocking yet. Okay, at number 20 we had Ricky Steamboat, but at number 16 we have Ultimo Dragon.
okay. He's a high flyer who
He did, like...
he had submission
like,
holds. He had two.
And he did the tiger suplex, like, alright.
Yeah,
But, again, he was more martial arts move
yeah, and
and high flying.
high flying.
I would not call Ultimo Dragon, Steve Austin, or Dynamite Kid technical wrestlers. That's just me. Eddie, I can see.
No, you can't.
Okay, because he's dead.
Like,
Well, when Steve would work, right? Steve had the Texas.
I never saw Stunning Steve.
Really?
No.
Gavin?
Gavin did. Gavin?
Gavin, what's your opinion?
Well, that was, as far as Gavin was concerned, back when they actually had War Games matches. Steve
And not
started
this-
off the greatest War Games match up until NXT had a better one. And I think that's Gavin's opinion.
Okay, thank you, Gavin.
Yeah. Also, women. Am I right?
Yeah. Number 15 is Ted DiBiase.
There.
Huh?
DiBiase was always a good technician,
Yeah,
but he
but
was never the best technician.
Well, that's
No.
why he's number 15.
I think that's a fair placement. Not in comparison to this list, mind you, but in general. If I'm, like, doing my top 20, DiBiase probably does fall somewhere around 15 or so.
I have a miss, but I mean, like, I wouldn't be outraged at 15, but I would be outraged if somebody had him before Steamboat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are we even doing here?
Like, you understand what I'm saying in perspective, like...
Yeah. Like, the idea of him being on your list at 15, like, it's not where I would have him, but it's not insulting.
Right.
But then when you factor in, you're like, yeah, he's just a couple after Steve Austin. It's like, oh, hey, you don't have a real list.
So, what about at number 14, Mr. Wonderful?
Orndorff?
Yep.
Not a technician.
No, he was a power moves guy, and like grind. He was a beat you down guy.
Yeah, like, again, not a technician. He'd fucking slam you around, hit you with the pile driver, like...
Yeah, a lot of like holding you and like.
Oh,
you,
just, I don't remember anything. Number 13 is Rick Martel.
There you go.
Jed, he did get on the list.
Yeah, you know, it was funny because I read the list and I said to Pat, "How mad are you going to be if Martel's not on it?"
Man, I put Martel top 10.
I would wonder why you would do that, but I like Martel a lot,
I'm not
and
talking about model
I
Rick
actually, what's up?
Martel. Model Rick Martel, though. Like,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
babyface, young Martel, that guy was at a point in time where I was like, man, this guy might be the most natural guy I've ever seen.
I feel
Yeah,
that's
right.
crazy. I like Tom Zank, by the way. Am I the only guy who does?
Because he's dead.
Well, I mean, like Tom Zank.
Like, shittier
Speaking of which,
Paul.
speaking of War Games, Tom Zank versus Brian Pillman was the match before War Games, wasn't it?
Civil War 92.
Yeah,
Number
Chris.
right.
By the way, very weird to have Martel before Steamboat.
Yeah, no shit. But,
Well, number
But-
12 is Pastor Blanchard.
right, Tully could do things that you don't see today. And even though Tully was only 5'7", he could lift up Ray Traylor for a slingshot suplex, and that just makes him great.
By the way, when Ray Traylor did that, I went back and watched it after I listened to the Boss Man podcast. I want Gavin to tell me Finn Balor can't ever hold the belt or something, so I can scream at him.
Well, first of all, to be fair to me, I call bullshit on that spot to begin with.
It's Chris.
Yes.
Do you know what a slingshot suplex is?
Let me think.
You pick the dude up in a suplex, the suplex you're thinking.
Yes.
You hold him, you drop his legs across the rope.
Oh, yeah.
Supercharges them into a very fast vertical suplex.
Yes.
It supercharges.
Yeah, right? Doesn't it?
It does, but it's so it looks
It's such
bad,
a stupid thing.
It sounds so much worse.
Yeah, it makes them go really fast. So, why not just do it yourself? Why not make them go fast the way you're doing? No. Use the ring ropes, Chris.
Yes.
So, anyways, Tully Blanchard, who looks like
fucking 7.
a guy who hangs out with the high school football team that is not a coach, but is a former player, but just likes to hang out. That height, but kind of wide, like a Ric Flair minus 3 inches, and all personality. So he did that to the Big Bad Boss Man.
Okay, that's
Big Bad Boss Man, 350 pounds.
Woo.
Yeah, and this is a substantially larger Boss Man than you too.
Yeah, this was first Boss Man. This was him being gigantically big.
Gotcha.
So he did that to basically, a mid-threes, probably billed as 400 pounds guy. And, it was a big spot because, whoa, how strong is Tully Blanchard? Not that strong. He just did it, to one guy because the guy was such an athlete that he was able to do it. So, anyways.
I was never fucking impressed with Tully at any point.
No, Tully sucked.
What did he do? He cut a good promo, I'll give him that. He wore Coke dealer glasses.
He cut a good promo because of who he was with. Do you know what I mean? They gave him... Would Tully have found that voice if he wasn't with Arn and Rick?
I give more credit to J.J. Dillon. Cause, J.J. was his manager before J.J. even managed the Horsemen. He just so happened to get there through Tully, which a lot of people don't remember. But really, J.J. carried Tully's promos to start with, and then Tully just a dickhead, and he wasn't playing a character. Tully was an asshole, and he was an asshole on TV.
Mm-hmm. So, to answer your question, Tully Blanchard, not that great of a promo. Good, not that great. Does not belong on a technical wrestlers list.
So, just outside of the top 10, at number 11 is William.
Okay, so
go ahead, Jed. Go ahead.
I'm a huge Regal fan. I love the guy, and he's a very good technical wrestler. But this just kind of feels like, okay, let me name a British guy that I know.
Let's play a game real quick, Jed.
Okay.
Overrated, underrated, or rated?
Properly rated?
Properly rated, thank you.
Underrated, I always wished he got the heel title run in WWE that he was going towards. But
didn't he get in trouble or something?
Yeah, he got a DUI.
Yeah, that's what.
Was he arrested with drugs too? Pat?
He checked himself into rehab after he OD'd.
Yeah, he was living a little touch and go. There was a reason he was so creative and good at the time. Now, I love Regal as a wrestler and stuff, but I don't know, it's odd to. I guess I would put him on my list, but Pat, go ahead.
He could do things that were very unorthodox and not common in America when it came to grappling and trading holds, which was cool, and it made him stand out. It makes you think maybe he's a better technician than what he really was because of that.
Mm-hmm.
He would try that stuff with guys. He would do it with guys who didn't really know how to react to it, and it would come off as really disjointed if he had not a great guy in there with him.
Yeah, and he needed the guy, the guys didn't know how to lay and put their arms and stuff, so he'd have to you'd see guys give him his they'd give their arm back to him just to kind of make it easier on him almost.
Bagwell.
Yeah, it was like okay, you're actually kind of hurting me, so here's my arm, just do the fucking thing, let's get it over with. You know what I mean, Chris?
Yeah.
So
now, go ahead.
It's kind of, and by the way Pat's describing him, he's Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
Right. Good. Pat?
Believable, because he's also not 165 pounds soaking wet with no.
Well, that's there's the other side of Sabre Jr. But by the way, Sabre Jr. great lately because he's not dropping guys on their necks and stuff, and I have to believe like he's actually doing. So, anyways,
he'll be on this list.
Do you remember when you said Regal was arrested for a DUI?
Yeah.
Regal was apparently on a flight, and when a stewardess approached him, he urinated. And he woke up in a prison cell in Alaska, and then after that, went into rehab.
I always got that mixed up with Chris Adams, who's another British guy with a drug problem.
Rest in peace.
I always forget that because I always think of Chris Adams because Chris Adams headbutted a stewardess.
By the way, I found that
a very lippy stewardess.
I found that on a list, okay, that we can maybe save, which is the 15 wrestlers who were arrested for the most bizarre reasons.
Oh, that's a much better list.
Yeah.
But I figured this list would be great, so me and Pat could just yell.
Yes. So, number 10, cracking into the 10.
Regal didn't make top 10, huh?
Nope, 11.
I'm not the world's hugest technical guy, but I would have had Regal in my top whatever, just to kind of be like, hey, look, I got a British guy.
He's a bottom half top 10 guy. Like,
well, remember, Ricky Steamboat is 20.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, so no, he shouldn't.
God.
Steamboat honestly should be 2 or 3.
Easily top 5. More than likely, he's in your top 3.
I would say, looking at this, probably 5.
Okay.
Continue. Number 10 is Y2J.
Nope.
No.
Which I don't look at him as a technical wrestler.
Nobody does.
Oh.
You know why you don't look at him as a technical wrestler, Chris? And I'm being honest, is because he's not a technical wrestler.
Yeah.
This is the one thing that always bothered me about Jericho's matches, even when I was a big mark for him, is that he was always off in that he would wrestle the style of the guy he was wrestling and try to be like better than them at it, which really doesn't make any sense in a context. Like, if you're wrestling Benoit, why are you going to try to like exchange fucking holds with him instead of moonsaulting and drop kicking him?
Yeah.
That's a fair criticism.
I'm not sure it's entirely like him against everybody, but he would get weird. Like he would go into ruts like that. I would say ruts. But you know, like I think this is because of the man of 1,004 holds gimmick, where he was pretending to be a great technical wrestler when he really. Now he was good. He's trained in Japan, trained in Mexico, all that stuff. But again, he's more of like the Shawn Michaels type to me.
He's showing on this list.
Hey, Jed, when you found this, did you? I know you're acting maybe like you don't know it. Did you look at the whole list?
Negative.
Okay, because if I remember correctly, I think this next one's going to hurt someone on this podcast. But we'll
good.
See.
I clicked the link that had all the lists listed, and then I sent you that. Like I didn't send you the direct link to this.
Okay. So, number 9 is Mr. Perfect.
But
there it is. Don't you love Mr. Perfect, Pat?
He is my absolute all-time favorite.
That's what I thought.
Top 5 for me.
Yeah. What's his style largely predicated? Taking fucking insane bumps, making the other guy look good.
Yeah. What was his technical stuff? Like he was a grind you down guy. His offense was grinding you down because he literally needed to rest because he was dying from
bounced all over the ring like a pinball.
Yeah, making fucking squids look good.
The entirety of it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too. Like he had the ability to do shit. Like he's almost very similar to DiBiase like that. Like their babyface stuff, which they're not known more for. They did wrestle that style of a lot of holds and stuff like that. And even Hennig broke away from that fairly quickly as a babyface. He started doing more like drop kicks off the top rope and stuff. He would maybe be a top. He would be a top 20 guy for me. But is he a great technician in what we think of that regard? No.
See, I think this guy mistook worker.
Well, maybe because I don't know about the next one. But
I would only say that.
How the Steamboat so low?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It still should be Ricky Steamboat top 5. And again, I have him like 3.
Well, number 8 would be the Super Olympia, the AA, Arn Anderson.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
This is ridiculous.
And put a guy in a hammerlock, slam him, and drop a bunch of on his arm.
But see, Arn Anderson is a good worker.
I agree.
But not a good technical wrestler, so I think Jed's right.
See, this is the good worker list, and it's like he doesn't know how to describe it, I guess. Like, I fully expect, like, I see now that Chris accused me of, like, looking forward at the list. By the way, Chris, go fuck yourself, die. Like, I'm waiting for him to say Kurt Angle.
Shawn Michaels #1. Oh.
Yeah.
I could see Kurt being put in that spot too, but I'm waiting for like Shawn at #1.
Well, number 7, I feel like I don't know whether this is going to be the most ridiculous thing ever, or you guys are going to be like, no, Chris, you're an idiot. This guy was a really good technical wrestler, but it's Doink the Clown.
Okay. Do you remember like the early Doink the Clown that Matt Bourne was?
Yeah, the comedy one.
Where he was a fucking really mean evil clown.
Yeah, but like he had the run of no, that's right, because later they were like, this is getting too dark, and they turned him into a cartoon. But yeah.
So I know we just talked about Mr. Perfect not being a technician. They had like a series of like 3 matches to get into the 1993 King of the Ring. And if you watch like those matches, Bourne fucking wrestles his ass off. And I mean like wrestles, like counters and that type of thing. And Kurt does too, but do I
Bourne was going for it.
Technician list?
Yeah.
3 matches, and he wrestled Brett at a couple house shows for like the belt. Like, come on, this is like a fucking 6-month run.
Well, also, this still is coming under the guise of in front of Ricky Steamboat.
Yes.
Which will stay.
Anytime we like lose sight of a point we're making, we can just go back to that.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, say Doink was a great technician. He wasn't. But like, let's say he was, had more than that run. Ricky Steamboat only did it his whole career.
Yeah, come on. What the fuck?
Well, number 6 would be
This is the act of a rapist.
Right before the top 5, right outside of it.
Thank you for explaining where number 6 is.
I was building suspense.
Okay.
Building suspense.
Before 4.
Before 4.
One more before 4.
Yes, like
ready.
Right after.
If you doubled 3.
If you doubled 3, this is where Lance T. Storm would be.
Lance Storm. Okay. So this is a worker list.
Yeah, I think
it's not a technical wrestler list.
I mean, it says top 20 technical wrestlers. So
Owen's going to be on this list. Benoit's going. Is this just going to be like the let's name some guys who are Canadian eventually list? Benoit's going to be on this list. This is stupid. Okay, so look, Lance Storm is an incredible wrestler.
Well, timed spots in the ring, very agile.
Yeah.
Really never looked out of place, super coordinated.
You absolutely do not need to be an athlete to be a great technical wrestler. This list is full of fucking athletes.
Usually the great athletes don't do the technical shit because they don't have to get by. They can do shit that nobody else can do.
They can fly. They can jump, they can bump, they can sell.
We're describing half the list of what they do right there.
They could run, if you watch Kurt Hennig run, and this doesn't have to do with anything, but this is my favorite thing about Kurt Hennig. Kurt Hennig ran the ropes. Huh?
He would run and do the leapfrog, that spot.
Yeah, Kurt Hennig would run the ropes and look like LeBron.
Fucking high jump a guy on the leapfrog. He wasn't doing your little stop pop. He's fucking broad jumping with his legs fully spread over, dude.
And he would he would fly on the rope. And I don't know, what was his great technical wrestling moves? The jump, holding the guy's knee and jumping on it.
Yeah, and the perfect flex.
Yeah, and he would hold the guy down on the ground with the single, the side, the fake ankle thing.
Yeah. You look at Eddie, too. Eddie would fucking hit those ropes and, glide.
Oh, he was perfect. The Rock was always... I could do it on all-time guys who were really good at running the ropes list. The Rock was awesome at it. But is that what this list is, Chris?
I don't know, because number 5 is Owen Hart.
The Mike Dad. Who is number 5?
Owen Hart.
Oh, okay. All right.
What the fuck?
So this list is just great workers.
Do you want to guess number 4?
Benoit?
No.
Oh, Jerry Lynn.
I will give you...
Daniel Bryan.
I will give you a hint. He's
Nigel.
He's related.
Yeah, it's Brett.
I was going to say Natalie Neidhart.
Yes, Natalie Neidhart is number 4. No, Bret Hart. Now,
okay, again, fuck Brett, but he's probably my number 1.
I don't want him to be number 1, so I'll I don't know. I like Nigel a lot, but I can't do it, right?
Again, not bad, but he also did a lot of the European style brawling.
Yeah, the catch can shit, and Man, Bret Hart is. So if I told you somebody made a list about like the greatest technical wrestlers and they had Bret Hart 12 spots, wait, how many 16 spots ahead of Ricky Steamboat? Yeah. Wouldn't that seem like the most like loaded? This fucking guy hates Ricky Steamboat list.
He really is not a Ricky Steamboat fan, and maybe he got burned by him at some point.
The irony it would be, someone would be like, "Wow, man, you have Ricky Steamboat fucking 16 spots behind Bret, so you had Ricky 16th, huh?" Like, oh, no, he had him 20th. He had Bret 4th. Because he had to get, what? Who's left? Is he going to put Benoit on this list? Because, like, if he's putting Benoit, then he might as well put Angle.
Benoit, Bryan, and Kurt Angle, right? Those are going to be the three?
Are you all ready?
Unless he omits Benoit completely because of the murders and picks Shawn.
Am I ready for what, Chris?
Number 3, which you guys, which no one has named. And...
Samoa Joe.
I don't think anyone, but I did not know this name before I looked it up, but I'm going to say it like this. The Great Pumpkin.
Like Charlie Brown?
Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko wrestled under the name Great Pumpkin.
Sure he did not.
Well, were you talking about when he was in Spanish? That's not... who the fuck was he?
It was...
He was in
Ciclope.
Yeah,
that's not Ciclope.
According to Cage Match and according to Online World of Wrestling, he wrestled as Great Pumpkin.
To Online World of Wrestling, he's fucking 15. How many? 17 spots higher than Ricky Steamboat? Yeah, eat shit and die.
Eat shit and live.
Well, that too. Fuck Dean Malenko for many reasons.
Well, for him not being very good is one.
Principle above everything else. Fuck Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dean Malenko took, like, technical wrestling and made it fucking look so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Shit he was doing was completely unbelievable. Like, we were talking about fucking Regal having guys feed their arms to him because they didn't know how to react to his shit. Fucking Malenko told these guys exactly how to bend and what to do in these holds that it looked like such a fucking farce. It looked like the two, like, acrobats at the beginning of the circus act, or just, like, Siegfried and fucking Roy. Bullshit.
My biggest Dean Malenko problem, one, how he treated Lita in the shower that day was quite ridiculous.
Respect for him for.
Yeah. Two, everything he did looked like a video game. Like, he had a connection of moves, but like he didn't know how to make a wrestling match with them, and nothing he ever did looked smooth. It's kind of like my complaint with Benoit, where Benoit just goes a million miles an hour. He doesn't know how to actually wrestle, because he's a murderer. But like it. I don't know if I'm explaining myself like clearly here, but he looks like someone who is putting on a professional wrestling match rather than having a match.
It looks like a work. It doesn't look like a match.
Yeah, Chris.
The reality in him is gone.
Yeah, what? He's for a guy who's incredibly supposed to be real and, like, quote unquote, I guess you'd call him technical. I don't really know if he was I don't know. He's not very technical. He would never like grab a guy down and like, work like holds with him. But
from hold on this body part to hold on this body part to hold on this body part without any of it making sense or having a flow to it.
Yeah, he would like go from like the arms to the legs and shit. Like, ugh. By the way, he was the agent for the Nakamura AJ Styles matches.
Just two.
Yeah, so nice work there. You fucking murderer.
If you hit him in the nuts. Why did it have to be Benoit? Why couldn't it be Malenko?
What? Who died?
Disgrace his family. Why couldn't it be? Why couldn't it be Malenko?
By Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah, why couldn't Kevin Sullivan frame Malenko?
So Malenko, like, I guess they like threw him into the cruiserweight division, and they were kind of just like, make stuff, whatever. But and the road was it Road Wild, or were they Hog Wild then? Where it was him and Benoit?
That was Road Wild, the first Road Wild '97.
See, that is my all-time like everybody loves it, but I hate it match, because one, the crowd was horrendous, but two, like, it's just two guys who didn't sell like each other at all. Like they would like lay down and wait for the other one to finish moves so he could do moves.
Like okay, is your turn up yet? I really got the spot I wanted.
All right, number 2 is Kurt Angle.
No.
Oh,
No. Nope.
Oh, God.
Number 1's gonna be Shawn Michaels.
Either him or Daniel or Bryan.
Yeah.
Oh, I love.
By the way, Bryan should be on this list. Is the irony of this?
I don't disagree with that. I really don't.
Especially for his work in Ring of Honor. Like, and by the way, this list is completely WWE centric, so like I guess I should know a little bit better, but whatever.
I remember like watching him in the early days. We're gonna talk about Kurt Angle in a second. Fucking whatever. But like I remember watching Brian when he was first really getting big play, 02, 03, and he was doing so much good shit like with wanted to see him match up with. Like I got a bootleg DVD of the Ring of Honor show where him, AJ, and it was him, Daniels, and Low-Key that did like the round robin in one night. And
yeah, they face each other like 4 times each or whatever.
He did good shit in each different match that was different but still great. And I was like, this guy can fucking go.
Yeah.
Years later, I wish death upon him.
Well,
but
he became a cartoon character. I don't know why you blame him for that.
Yeah.
What was he going to do? Roar? He was going to eat roaring elbows in a WWE environment?
I mean, look at it this way. It's like listening to Metallica through like Ride the Lightning and shit and then hearing Black. You know what I
mean? Well, dude, Sandman's a jam. Is Sandman not a jam? Am I the only guy? I'm like the beyond of metal elitist, but Sandman's a jam.
One good match in 10 years.
Oh, come on. He's had great matches. His match with Cena was incredible.
He's the best one, but I give more credit to John than I do him.
Of course you would. That's insane. But he had a good match with fucking Randy Orton. Remember when Randy Orton was the corporate champ?
Yeah, at that point, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't watch for a while.
All right. Well, whatever. So Brian's won, Chris?
I won't say I don't believe it, but...
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Casual Heroes WrestleCast.
We didn't get to number 1.
Oh. Well, okay.
Is
it
not Brian?
No. This list,
whoa,
the top 20 technical wrestlers, is brought to you by Bowflex. If you're needing to kill your family, it's the best way to go.
Get the fuck out of here. It's Benoit.
Shit.
The guy who's not as good as Dynamite Kid, who did the Dynamite Kid impression, is 15 spots ahead of the Dynamite Kid. And by the way, Dynamite Kid, not a great technical wrestler.
Dynamite Kid was number 19. He's 18 spots ahead.
Look, I do not hate Benoit. And maybe, I hate Benoit for the person, right? No, I'm supposed to say shit like that?
That's correct.
Yeah, all right, whatever. I mean, okay. Like, I don't care about Benoit, but... So, Benoit, but like in ECW and shit, like him and Eddie, like, how could you say he's a technical wrestler? That's like saying Liger was a technical wrestler. Like, he's trained in Japan as Pegasus, and he wasn't technical. He's really good.
If you really want to, like, be that guy, like, where's, like, Dory Funk Jr.? Fucking haven't gone yet.
Bockwinkel. I don't understand this list. And, I don't just want to name, like, guys who weren't in the WWF, but, like, I mean, shit, like,
Where's Bryan Danielson? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's, like, the one thing. I don't understand this list. Chris, what are the parameters of this list?
The parameters are the best technical wrestler.
So why, like, honestly, like, how close do you think this guy was to putting Sting on his list?
Probably 21.
He's like, he's got a submission hold.
21.
I just missed the cut guy.
Yeah, like, Luger would put guys up in a submission hold, so, like, top 30.
21. So there it is,
You know what's
folks.
funny? Honestly, if I had to choose a better technical wrestler, I would put Raven before I would put Benoit.
Do that.
Or maybe I don't mean that, but
if you were to tell me, like, Taz, I might be inclined to agree.
Now,
this is a
Taz.
very not good list. Doug Furnace?
I did not find this, but
Well, I regret finding it, to be honest with you, because it's a pile of shit.
but if
What were the parameters?
Chris didn't pick this list.
if you remember, next time on the WrestleCast we have 15
Shocking.
wrestlers who were arrested for the most bizarre reasons, and we went over one of them, which was William Regal peeing on a stewardess in Alaska.
Okay, but he had to pee.
By the way, Regal claims that he was so drunk he doesn't even remember.
Well, probably, but I mean, he peed on a human being, Chris.
I mean,
Why is Nigel not on this list?
I mean, honestly, Jed, we can sit here and say, why is this person not on this list all night? Because Ricky Steamboat was number 20.
Why? Like, I would have, like, is it crazy for me to put Yuji Nagata on this list?
Nagato's a really sound technician. Like, you hate him, Jed, but, like, you know,
I don't
like,
hate
wrestled the technical style during a lot of these guys' eras? Larry Zbyszko.
Oh, yeah. Like, because of the doing technician stuff. See,
Well-
Benoit
Well,
had one speed, Chris. Do you know what I mean?
Fuzzy, how'd that work out?
Yeah, but like this is not a list Benoit should be on.
Right.
But I guess because he had a finisher,
Where do you think he would rank on wrestlers who killed their family?
behind Kevin Sullivan.
Somewhere behind Kevin Sullivan and ahead of Jim.
Okay.
Yeah, murderer.
Well, we would like to
You
think.
want to talk about wrestlers who got arrested under weird circumstances? How about
Save it,
everybody just
save it.
finally going, "Oh, okay, you know what? He really did fucking do it," and grabbing Snuka.
That's the best one by far. I met like this like niece of the girl he killed.
Ugh.
Weird circumstances,
Mm.
and like the whole family knew. Like, yeah, he fucking killed her. We hate that guy.
Yeah, like what? Chris, get that list.
Okay. I will look for it.
Can we skip right to Snuka?
Yeah. Yeah, we can.
Murderer. And they were just like, yeah, probably. We'll figure it out later. And then later they were like, I guess it's time. Murderer.
And then he dies of stomach cancer before any trial can happen.
Yeah, which, by the way, I thought was the ultimate work. Like, he's too old to stand trial. I'm like, get him, Snook. Like, we get it.
I think Vince found out he had the cancer and stopped the blackmail payments to
Yeah.
like whatever police department it was. Ah, damn it, he's not gonna last, pal.
Well, I'd like to thank John Cena's abs for the Wrestlecast tonight. Those were fun. Jed, Pat, this was actually good. Good job, guys.
That list is a fucking cancer.
You picked it, Cancer
I
Baby.
know. Well, the point is to not get. Like, would you want a list that we're all like, yeah, pretty good. Very sound list.
Like the list was chosen basically to hear
For
me get
screen that.
outraged.
20 was a lot, by the way.
It was.
Because we kept doing the whole like, yeah, you know, he's not really a wrestler thing. Like, he's kind of like an all around
right,
like
but
all-around worker.
if I would have just did the top 10, you wouldn't have got Ricky Steamboat at number 20.
Well,
Which
that's the irony, because we'd be sitting there going, okay, well, look, Steamboat's coming up. It's not like this guy would put Austin ahead of Steamboat.
I'm honestly shocked that this guy like wasn't that Mark who put Flair in there.
Yeah, I'm surprised. See, I was kind of expecting Flair.
I wonder if Gavin ever did a top 10 technical, because he had lists that he did. And I bet you Flair would have been on there.
No, Gavin would not have done that.
Have you met Gavin and Ric Flair?
Yeah, look, I understand. Look, dude, I love Flair too, but Gavin understands what Flair is. He's a Jew.
I don't know, man. I've seen him.
We closing on that?
Yeah, we'll close on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening.
We have to close before that, right? Like, you can't be saying that.
I think that's...
Well, Ric Flair clearly not a Jew, too, by the way.
Well, I can put not a Jew. Like,
In parentheses, sorry
not a
that
Jew.
we said Ric Flair was a Jew. Apologies to Ric Flair.
Not a Jew. Or I could just take it out. One of the two.
You could just picture some guy hearing that from like North Carolina being like, I told you we were booing that motherfucker for a reason. All right. It's bedtime.
Yep.
I did a great job tonight.
You did. Good job, buddy.
We didn't have enough Boogie Nights quotes though.
No, but we talked about wrestling, which that
Unfortunately, Jesus.
That helps. Hey everybody, thanks for listening to the Casual Heroes podcast. Gavin, this wasn't a video yet, it's on YouTube. This is weird.
Yep, a little odd, but I think it'll work.
I mean, we'll go with it. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel for video content. And at a certain point, we'll have the website running back. But Gavin, what's our social media stuff?
It's the Casual Heroes at pretty much everything.
Pretty much everything. What about
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn?
We have a LinkedIn
Glassdoor,
page. We have a
Craigslist.
Definitely Craigslist.
Used to be on Backpage, but the government got rid of that one.
They did. Well, folks, you can find us at all those. Subscribe, bell icon, all that fun stuff.
And if you know a good alternative for Backpage that the government hasn't gotten to yet, please let us know on one of those others.
Yes, please. Because we need to sell prostitution. What? We can just end it there.
Works for me.